Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the schmoes know, this is Guilty Movie Pleasures. In-depth discussion on movies, no matter how guilty they make you feel.
All right, Schmova, what's happening? We're here on Guilty Movie Pleasures. Guys, this is a big, big episode. It is also a Three's Too Much reunion!
Yay!
What? The podcast that once was 135 episodes of pure bliss.
Oh, it was such bliss. It was so
Did
much
we do
bliss.
135 episodes?
I looked it up, yeah, 135
I love
episodes.
that you know that.
Yeah, 2 years, and like 2.5 years we did that show.
Oh,
Our
so
first
good.
episode was in 2011, end of 2011.
Oh, yeah, and we dressed up like we were going to the prom.
Yeah, and then we took a picture for our promo pictures of basically the cover of This Means War.
Yeah, basically.
Which is the movie we're going to be talking about here on Guilty Movie Pleasures. This is going to be an episode that's kind of all over the place, like an episode of Three's Too Much, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, now, we will get to the movie eventually.
Yes.
By the way, fun fact about that Three's Too Much photo shoot you're talking about.
Yeah.
There were 3 people in that shoot. Only 2 people own any of the clothes in that shoot. Everything I was wearing was owned by Josh.
That's true.
And I rented your tux, and I think I gave it back to you about a year later.
A year later, and it was crumpled up into a Ralph's bag. So thanks, Mark,
You
for
got it back.
keeping that tux really nice and pressed and on hangers. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming on the show. It floods back the memories of Three's
so
Too
many
Much
memories.
days. You know, when we started Three's Too Much, we were on like a Friday, I remember, and then we went to Tuesdays.
Yes.
And then it was and then it kind of like stayed on Tuesday afternoons.
Yeah.
Pretty stolidly.
Justine was running the ship. Justine started out running the ship, and it was her and the world famous Cinemax star Ashley Hamilton.
And by running the ship, you mean she was just on the Lido deck of a cruise ship dancing?
By running the ship, I mean she was the only one of the hosts that actually showed up to do
That's
the show.
true. That is true.
And so she'd continually either call you or me in to come fill in for Ashley.
Right.
And then eventually she's like, let's just try both of you. We come in, we knock the chemistry out of the park.
Just crushed it. I
Look
just
at
knew.
us.
Yes.
We're amazing.
Yeah.
And then Justine's like, why don't you guys come on full time?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay you. And we're like, we don't need payment.
Yeah.
And then Smash Cut, the greatest podcast in the history of podcasts. A lot of, Three's Too Much. We haven't done that in a while.
Three's too much.
That's right. There's going to be pussy yanking.
There's going to be so much
There's going to be these nuts jokes. And best
We
of
never
all,
even got the song for today. We never got Pussy Be Yanking by Lady.
I have it on my phone, so I
Okay.
can just do a ghetto, play it through the microphone on my phone.
Is Steven back there or is Alexis back there? Alexis, if you could look up on YouTube the song Pussy Yankin' by...
It's just yanking. She doesn't say pussy in the title.
Okay.
She
for,
saves some mystery.
album sales.
Of course. It's called Yankin' by Lady. We could maybe play that in our outro whenever you have it. Yeah, that's what we'll be playing. But yeah, I mean, when the Toad Hop Network kind of disbanded and we lost the show, we all sort of went our separate ways, but yet kept a really nice group text alive.
We did.
That Mark never answers.
Mark never answers. It's just me and Josh emojiing back and forth.
Yeah.
To be honest, I owe you guys.
There it is.
Book better when I'm drinking. Ride dick like a pro. Throw the pussy like I'm famous.
We got a new addition to the crew. We got...
I have my dog.
What's your dog's name?
Blair, which you may
Blair?
know from my Instagram.
Yes, that's
if
all
you
you've
still follow me
that's all
on
you've
Instagram
Instagrammed
after all
is
the puppy
dog.
pics.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that the dog was named Blair until I met her for the first time in person today.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, she's keeping alive because our friend Eliza has a dog named Blanche, which I assumed was from Golden Girls.
Yes.
And then Blair, I assumed was
Facts of
from
Life.
The Facts of Life.
No.
It's not.
It's from Gossip Girl, one of the greatest television shows of all time.
Yep.
Oh,
That's our
speaking of
Justine.
that,
That's our Justine.
Before we get into This Means War, and I know you're dying to talk about it,
We're going to keep that as a running joke. Now, before we get into This Means War.
This Means War is our Matt Damon
Yes.
for Jimmy Kimmel. There was some huge news today that dropped in the Three's Too Much landscape and in the Netflix landscape. Full House
Also,
is
guys,
coming back as Fuller House.
and I got the tattoo. For those of you who were wondering,
Le mec.
vous l'avez mec, but
Vous l'avez
very
mec.
good, close pronunciation.
Which means...
You got it, dude.
Right.
In French. It was an ongoing joke. Was I going to get the tattoo or not? It was like a cliffhanger every week.
Guys,
I didn't.
And you didn't get it until after Three's Too Much was over.
Not until after. And then I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I lost everything. I'm doing it. I lost everything when I lost that podcast.
Now, Justine, let me ask you this, because for you, hearing this news, it must have been like when I heard that there were new Star Wars movies being made. Like, they're bringing the original band back together.
Yes.
Is it too late for them, or can they still pull off Full House greatness?
Now, are they all going to be living in the same house and be really poor?
I know. Oh, there it is. There it is. The greatest song in life, other than Yankin.
They're going to remix Yankin and their song together.
It's a very small Venn diagram of people who know Yankin by a Lady and the Full House theme word for word.
Just us three, basically.
I know the whole scoop because obviously I read all the articles.
Yeah, of course.
So basically, John Stamos is going to guest star and he will be producing the show.
Oh.
It centers around
Stamos, you bastard.
DJ is living. She's a single widowed mom, much like her dad. She has two
Steve
sons.
died?
Oh, I don't know if it's Steve was her dad, her husband.
Probably got stabbed by the meth-addicted middle sister, right? In a jealous fit of rage.
And she's in it too, so hopefully she's sober.
doing better,
Stephanie
yeah.
and Kimmy Gibbler, and they're all gonna live in the house. DJ's son's name is JD, just an FYI.
Nice.
And then the rest of the cast might make appearances. I'm a little concerned. My only concern is that my favorite character, Michelle Tanner, won't make an appearance because the Olsen twins are so kind of above it all.
Yeah.
And also they're billionaires, so they really don't need to, you know, go to a Netflix show.
But I mean, come on, there got to be at least one appearance.
I think so. And they said that they were maybe going to do it because everything
and which sister gets it? Because now they look a little bit different than they did back in the day.
I mean,
One looks like an alien, the other one looks like an alien.
but one's a slightly fuller alien.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
One's more of a plus-size alien, if you will. One of them, they kind of leave off the spaceship when they go invade places to just keep the weight down. I have an overarching question, then I have concerns.
Okay.
And they're in this order. Is Bob Saget and Dave Coulier, are they both returning?
They're in talks. And then Aunt Becky is also in talks to make it.
Ooh, she is.
Lori Loughlin.
I know.
Ooh, she
That's
is smoking.
my doppelganger.
I mean, the whole cast really hasn't aged at all. Like, they don't look older. Dave Coulier, I saw him like on TV or wherever. He
Yeah.
doesn't look that old. Bob
Coulier,
Saget looks
Saget,
fine.
Stamos is less.
Greek
Stamos
god.
is just, he is a Greek
now,
god.
here's my concerns. Okay, first of all, I'm concerned about the public school system in Southern California because
Terrible.
the person playing Kimmy Gibbler is a successful teacher. I actually met her. I was opening for Saget one time, and she
shit.
came to the show.
Get
and
out
I
of
met her.
town.
She's a public school teacher.
Okay.
So is she just dropping her teaching duties to come back?
Well, maybe they'll
full-time
shoot
on
it.
Netflix?
Maybe they'll shoot it in the summertime when she's off.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll adhere to her teaching schedule.
Yeah, she's a very important role.
Saying. Okay, now the bigger concern is that all of these cute actresses that were on the show are now of age, and we got
Right.
Stamos lurking around the set. That's it's a
That's
He's,
concern.
true.
he's yanking. He's just gonna be out there yanking.
I mean, you know he's pulling so much puss.
It's
Gonna be a full vagina. Huh? No?
Oh, Mark.
Too far? Too
Fuller vagina.
far this
You
hour?
guys haven't noticed that when Three's Too Much gets back together, the jokes are just killer. They
I
are
feel like
just the
Mark
best.
is much dirtier.
I know.
Mark is just, I mean,
He's been yanking a little bit.
he
so
has
he's
been. He
been,
has
you know,
a little bit of a GF going.
My LSB. There's 2/3 of this show when we all would just come on every time. We talk about our misadventures in the world of being
Yes.
single.
Yes.
Occasionally, Josh would have a flirtation that lasted a couple weeks,
Yeah.
a few
A
chilly
dalliance,
dates,
a
if you
few
will.
yanks.
a romantic dalliance.
Yeah.
And now 2/3 of us are spoken
serious
Yes.
relationships. Justine with Chris Pine, and you with Reese Witherspoon, and I'm just the Tom Hardy over here, maybe getting together with his ex-wife.
But which ex-wife is it? The Mohawk, or is it another one?
Oh man! Now before we get into This Means War, I want to talk about.
This means more coming up next.
Coming up next. Now, when we had planned this, because Ben Begley, I forgot to, Ben Begley, our normal co-host, he's been out of town for a month shooting his first feature film with his wife that they wrote.
Benny.
Also of commercial fame.
Super
Multiple
commercial fame. Ben Begley. It's not his Hallmark movie, which is now on video on demand. Love with a Chance of More Love. No, it's something about
I
love.
was like, really? That sounds like a title I need to look into.
No, he was in a Hallmark movie called Cloudy with a Chance of Love, I believe was the name of it. It's something like that. He hates when I make fun of it.
Are there any meatballs in the film?
There are no meatballs.
No animated food whatsoever.
Ben plays. He's great in the movie. I've never seen it, but his reviews on all the websites were very good, very high.
I got to give it my schmo seal of approval. I got to see this picture.
It's a classic. Ben is a great actor. And the movie Funhouse Massacre, they're shooting in Ohio. I believe they're wrapping this week. So
good for him.
Ben said that it's been going really well. So tweet at Ben, tell him congratulations. It's been good things, but. We talked about coming on a thing. I left the window open for Justine to recommend a movie. Mm-hmm. And it was between This Means War and what was the other movie?
The Olsen twin classic, New York Minute.
New York Minute.
Which it would have been so fitting to do New York Minute.
I know.
It would have been.
Except I'm not watching New York Minute.
I knew that wouldn't fly for.
Right.
That's too guilty. I don't feel guilty watching it.
Nor do I. But that's too out of the Ellis wheelhouse.
Yeah, so
there's not enough Wookiees in the New York Minute. So
I had to throw Tom Hardy in there for Ellis.
Right. Exactly. And so you chose This Means War. Now, I will say I remember vividly when This Means War came out because we talked about it exclusively on Three's Too Much for like how much you loved it and how bad Mark and I bashed it. And then I watched and I was like, it wasn't too bad.
It's pretty good. I think it holds up.
Yeah.
This movie I saw opening weekend. I was on the road in El Paso. Mm-hmm. I saw it 2 days in a row.
I remember that.
I was going to go a third day, but then Mark was like, no, go see something else. Go see Safe House. It's great. I fell asleep for all of Safe House.
That's when we learned that Justine falls asleep during action sequences. If there's a car crash, when she sees Avengers Age of Ultron, she's just going to be passed out for 2.5 hours.
This Means War.
I know. If Tom Hardy and Chris Pine aren't in the action sequences, I'm out. I'm napping.
I mean, who can necessarily blame you? I remember and Justine is such a fun, bubbly, light personality. She's so nice. She's caring. She's giving. Until I told her that I had a screening, I might have even had to leave the studio early the day we were broadcasting Three's Too Much to go see This Means War. She was not happy.
Devastated, I think, would be the adjective you were looking for there. Just absolutely crushed.
Very devastated.
Yeah. And I mean, I waited till this movie obviously came out on DVD or TV, whatever it was. It was on HBO or something, and I was like, oh, this is the Justine classic. And I got to tell you, I mean, I love rom-coms. We all know that the rom-com genre amongst us is very popular.
One of the glues of this show that kept us together for 135 episodes was the romantic comedy element.
Yes. And this is a great rom-com. Very smart. Funny that the fact that they're CIA agents and they're using government time and money
really smart.
to chase down a girl.
Taxpayer
dollars. There's always been one glaring plot hole in this movie, and I think you guys know what I'm going to say.
I mean,
it's 2012 when they made this movie, and they meet in a video rental spot.
I noticed that this time also. This 18th time that I've seen it, I did notice that.
On the 18th viewing, it doesn't hold up as well as it did the first dozen.
On a Saturday after a date, Reese Witherspoon during the day is like, better hit the local Blockbuster. And then Pine's like, I'll be in my 3-piece suit. But nothing says 3-piece suit day like a Blockbuster.
I don't want to toot my own horn. I used to do a joke about how the best place to meet chicks was Blockbuster Video on a Friday night because if they were there, they just got dumped. Like they had no other option.
Oh, yeah.
And I stopped doing that joke in like 2007.
Because we ran out of Blockbusters.
Because it wasn't relevant.
Yeah.
It's like, no, girls just go on Netflix
And you can't hang out by a red box because you'll get shanked by some homeless guy at Ralph's. So we're left to our digital resources. All we can do is rent movies on iTunes.
I like how a red box is the Josh Macuga marker for whether you're in a good part of town or not.
Yeah,
that place has a lot of red boxes, if you know what I mean.
All about the shank. And then, the whole movie is placated on the fact that Reese Witherspoon can't meet anybody. And then they're in this she goes on the date with Tom Hardy, and they're in this Blockbuster, and all of a sudden she's friggin' the most suave person in the world. She's like, nobody tells me what I like. And then she's like, working this video store aisle. And I'm like, what is this? And then she has this, I don't know. That whole part is the impetus of the movie for how they meet. They couldn't think of anything better than a movie store, than a Blockbuster.
I mean,
a Circuit City, if you will. A Best Buy.
A Best Buy.
Yeah.
Here's what I think the
It
qualities
looks like
of the
a Best
movie
Buy.
are.
Okay.
I think the acting is fantastic. Their chemistry is great.
Yes.
Chris Pine and Tom Hardy, you believe them as tough guy CIA agents, as suave as like the James Bond
Yep.
of the modern era, if you will.
Yep.
Reese Witherspoon is certainly worth two men fighting over
Oh,
her.
absolutely.
Oh
That
my God.
jawline, my goodness.
I would jump in there.
There's a scene when she's dancing, like she just thinks she has the night to herself.
Oh, with her popcorn.
She doesn't know
Oh, man.
there's two.
This is how we do
She's not wearing
it.
pants.
Oh, yeah.
She's just kind of, oh man, if that's what girls do when we're not around, then more guys need to be sneaking into women's houses. And Josh, if you're free tonight,
That's what I'm always doing. Except instead of popcorn, it's just like a can of frosting and it's all over my face.
I was waiting until we got to some cookie butter talk, baby.
being in a relationship as I currently am,
Whoa.
I go to Trader Joe's a lot more
Yeah.
than I used to,
Yep.
which is to say I've been to Trader Joe's now in the last 6 months. And every time I see that speculoos cookie butter, oh my God. Our producer Alexis just held up a sign. Me too, Justine.
Thanks, girl.
Every
You get
girl
me.
eats maybe you guys wonder why you always have food allergies. Like
Yeah.
maybe it's because you're cranking frosting into your gullet every Saturday watching romantic comedies all day. Just a thought.
She's like, I can't eat vegetables anymore. I was like, yeah, because your blood has gotten used to Pillsbury frosting. You can't take any more health food.
I just hope Blair gets to eat dog food.
Yeah.
Blair eats dog food. Blair will eat anything, though. Mommy's leggings.
Sounds like all your ex-boyfriends.
Yeah,
Mommy's
totally.
leggings.
Mommy's leggings.
While humming the Harry Potter theme.
Yeah. Bringing it back, baby. Bringing it back.
Oh, I forgot about that.
If we could just get Ted Ritter to call in, this would really make the episode 100%.
Ted Ritter has a kid now.
Oh, Ritter getting it out.
Colorado's finest. That kid's going to grow up to be Van Wilder in Ted Ritter's Animal House.
Oh, man. Doesn't matter how much weed they're smoking in California or in Colorado. Those boys are still swimming for Ted Ritter. That guy can still crush it. He's just the guy. I'm telling you, he's a legend, a man amongst men.
Oh, man.
Little did you know here? Did you guys know that Sam Worthington, Colin Farrell, Justin Timberlake, and Seth Rogen were considered for the lead roles, but eventually were settled on Chris Pine and Tom
Oh,
Hardy?
and I'm so glad they went with what
Wow, that was right around the time when everybody was trying to make Sam Worthington the next big thing. He was in those Titans movies, and he's a fine actor. But out of all those names you just mentioned, maybe I could see Timberlake sneaking in there.
Yeah,
but
he could have pulled off the Chris Pine role.
Yeah.
But was anybody else considered for Reese Witherspoon? Because she seems so perfectly attuned to that role where she's just the cute girl next door. Maybe she's a little too shy to put herself out there, and so she needs guys to hit on her, which is obviously what happens in the movie. So I think the casting in this film is the highlight of it. It gets really silly and ridiculous with the plot and how like the lengths they're willing to go to one-up each other, like involving helicopters with weaponry
Oh,
on
I
them.
love it. I love it.
Snipers, neck darts, all that kind
the
of
neck
stuff.
dart.
Bradley Cooper was cast but was dropped out due to scheduling conflicts. James Franco was offered the role but declined.
That's good on the movie's part.
Yeah, nothing here about Reese Witherspoon. But there was an alternate ending apparently where Lauren ends up with Tuck and not with.
You know
Is
what?
this on the DVD features?
It doesn't say.
Spoiler alert. I can't remember, like, I can't remember who she ends up with. I'm going to guess.
Mark, did you prepare for today or not? Josh and I both rewatched the movie.
I illegally downloaded it.
I watched it on a flight.
I'm going to say that I barely remembered who she ended up with 5 minutes after I saw the movie. If that makes you feel any better. I think she ended up with, I think Tom Hardy lets Chris Pine have her at the end. Is that right?
Well, what's happening is there's a car, a SUV hurtling at them at immense speed, and Reese Witherspoon is stuck in the middle on a bridge. It's going to end like a freeway, like in Speed when they jump the bus. And Pine's on one side and Tom Hardy's on one side, like, come on. And she has to choose between whatever, and then smoke clears after the dude explodes and dies, which is a very romantic part of the movie.
Oh, the bad guy. There is a bad guy.
Dietrich,
the bad guy.
she ends up with Pine. She dives the Pine, and Tom Hardy's like, yeah, you're going to these are to take it.
Yeah.
That's my Tom Hardy.
A perfect Tom Hardy. I can't look at Tom Hardy without, he was in that, what was it? Bronson,
Bronson,
yeah.
the poop on his head.
Yeah, but you get to see his dick in it, and it was
that's right.
kind of like, whatever. So that's all I can think about when I see that movie.
But maybe he's a grower, not a shower. You got to remember that, Justine.
I guess maybe.
What is a grower not? You would figure that if you're going to be showing, that's when you do the growing.
Well, yes, exactly. But like you in the morning in the mirror, sometimes it's just a little bit smaller than it usually is. And then, sometimes when you're with a girl, it just grows to maximum potential. It's like, maybe you're trying some new material at an open mic and it's not going so well. But then when you're on the Comedy Central, on your 30-minute special,
and
you're out there yanking the shit out of the place.
I'm the opposite. And Justine, maybe you can shed some light on this, being with the number of men you have been with.
Hey, Mitch.
We'll just say this: there's been a lot of Nickelback played in the bedroom and the various basements that Justine's visited over the years.
See that?
No, you're a very respectable lady. You've been in what, maybe 5-6 serious relationships.
I mean, come on now. I would say
you make Josh do pirate face, so maybe 7 or 8.
A few less than that.
I mean, serious relationships we're looking at like 5, right? 4. 3. There was Inkenbauer.
Yeah. Oh, Ted Ritter.
There's Ritter, Inkenbauer, Mitch.
Yeah. I would say
Kupchak.
those are.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the
There
3.
was
The
one
power
other
3.
that was kind of, but not really.
Right.
Not really, didn't cross the year mark.
And like we always talked about on Threes too much, you weren't really about going out to yank on like a one night stand. You always were kind of like, you had like your had your dalliances, but they would like be extended dalliances, not so much a relationship.
I do an extended dalliance.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Justine had a nice setup when we went over, when we were going to watch The Notebook. We came over, we watched The Notebook. I believe it was
Still
on Valentine's
a low
Day.
point in the show. Just a low point in the show, really.
It was on Valentine's.
I'm sorry that Josh was such a ratings whore that he needed a hookup to happen to keep the show going. We both enjoyed The Notebook. I almost cried.
Yes.
Justine got 2 couch cushions closer. We got 2. We decreased our length from each other by the end of the movie, and that was an accomplishment.
Okay. But yeah, well, we all know that nothing really ever happened.
Nothing happened.
Yeah,
No.
that's like the litmus test for like, if you can go through The Notebook without wanting to hook up with somebody, you're like, probably should just be friends.
Yeah,
Probably
totally.
just share some cookie butter.
Okay, it's friends.
I'm a shower, not a grower.
He did bring a cookie butter candy bar over that night, though. So
Yeah.
he was maybe giving the signals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That was probably
yeah.
the last time I went to Trader Joe's before
being in a current
is to
relationship.
buy a cookie butter bar.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can't. It's like the Seinfeld. There's shrinkage. You can't judge a man based solely on, again, there's the guys that walk around the locker room, like, Shaq. And there's some guys in the locker room that just, I'm talking from personal experience here. I'm more of a grower than a shower.
But you're acting.
But when it's grown, it is a hell of a penis.
You're acting like they didn't. This is a movie, Josh. This isn't some TMZ footage that we caught of Tom Hardy
Yeah, that's
in a
true.
candid moment. They have time to prep. They have fluffers for this.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was an independent film. Bronson was a smaller movie, so you don't have that big budget. Oh, we have 19 takes to get his cock right. We have one shot at this, and we're going to do what we can. So maybe you're right. Maybe they just got him at a bad time. But
Yes.
you'd figure for a movie, you get prepped for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, agreed. And to quote Chelsea Handler's character, was it a Mike and Ike that, because she wants Reese Witherspoon, because Chelsea Handler plays a sister. She wants Reese Witherspoon to bang them both, which makes total sense. You got to test the waters before you go swim a lap.
Sex tiebreaker.
Yeah, sex tiebreaker. Smart, very well written part in the movie, and Chris Pine and her go at it, but her and Tom Hardy never actually sleep together. Spoiler alert! But you don't find that out until they're on the last scene on the Harrier jet when they're going to jump out, and then Chris Pine admits to having slept with Tom Hardy's wife.
Because Chris Pine fucking slays
He is
pussy.
slaying it.
He is a slayer.
When that Aussie flight attendant shows up, she's like, "It's Tuesday." He's like, "Oh yeah." Now I'm with somebody.
Yeah.
And the poor Aussie, he just like shut
know.
Now here's one thing. Okay.
He's watching Titanic at that point. Can I just say that's another huge part of why I love this movie? He
Sure.
watches Titanic at one point.
To be inspired, like, what's he turning into? He's turning into a romantic kind of a guy.
Turning into Justine Marino.
Yes, exactly.
And that's Pine that watches Titanic?
Pine that
because
watches
he also
Titanic.
puts on Sade at some point, right?
Yeah.
Sade.
Yeah, so
That's when he gets clipped in the neck with the blow dart.
That's right. So he made an effort. I mean, he was going after
Oh
this.
yeah, if when you think about it, sort of like if your buddy in high school, you and him want to date the same girl.
Yeah.
And the girl's not really sure, so you're going to do everything to sabotage him. Just amplify it 400 times because these guys are CIA spies, and you've got a great movie.
I just love
Really.
that they're all of their teams are fully on board with
They're
this
so
mission
on
too.
board.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, at first they're like, how is this related to the Heimlich case? And they're like, don't worry about it, it's classified. But then at the end they're like, we could get you a kid because Tom Hardy has a kid.
Yeah.
And Chris Pine, he uses the kid to get her to,
That's right.
like,
Yeah.
perhaps bang him.
Yeah.
And the whole team's like, we can get you a kid. Like, we can do whatever it takes.
We can rent you a
The
kid.
sky's the limit. We will steal a kid.
They're using U.S. government resources to track down Reese Witherspoon again. totally, it's a viable option because Reese Witherspoon is America's sweetheart.
She is.
Now, here's the one thing. I don't know how much super spies make money-wise.
Yeah, you wonder what they pull in.
Because to live in an apartment where women swim above you...
They both have, like, the sweetest apartments. Like, he drives an Audi A8.
My buddy's dad was an FBI agent. They lived in, like, an okay 4-bedroom in Pittsburgh.
But these guys probably get hazard pay. You figure you go on a super dangerous mission.
Yeah.
You probably get a little bit of a kickback, but it's not like your base salary is pretty much what you make. Because
you're not getting like kill bonuses, are you?
By their very nature, you can't be promoting yourself. It's not like when a coach gets $5 million, then they also get $10 million from Nike. You make no money.
Agreed.
Like, Smith & Wesson ain't giving you another million for killing somebody with their gun.
Alexis just looked it up for us. A little more than 6 figures.
Oh, okay.
A year, but still, like
he's living.
They're in Los Angeles, number one.
Yeah.
With the pool where women swim above you.
When you come in, there's always a woman swimming above you. Like, they have to pay her to swim in the pool?
I'm sorry.
She's probably on the clock at some.
This is the most action Mark has ever gotten on Three's Too Much. AKA Guilty Movie Pleasures.
My dog is very slutty.
Like a mama.
Like mommy. I have one thing that's always stood out to me in this movie. Everyone's eyes are so fucking blue. Can we talk about it?
Gorgeous-eyed people.
Hardy's eyes are blue too, right?
It looks like everyone is wearing crazy bright blue contacts.
That's right. And I remember the poster
Even Chelsea
for that.
Handler.
They're like glowing.
Yeah. You know you feel bad is you never see who Chelsea's husband is.
You do in one scene where they're fucking and eating the Cheetos.
Right.
He's a schlubby kind of. I can't remember who plays him. I thought
we don't like actually
you don't see
his
him
face.
though. That
You don't
is
see
true.
him,
You
okay.
see like his profile and his bare body.
Yeah.
Like a bear, but also bare.
Bare
like,
body.
No clothes.
All right, now let me pose this question to the group. And Josh, I'll give you a little bit of time to think about this because Reese Witherspoon, very attractive girl, but if there was one girl in Hollywood who you would fight me over to the death and use all your CIA powers, who would that actress be? While you're thinking about that, Justine, I'll put a more easier question to you that I'm sure you've wrestled with over the years. Chris Pine or Tom Hardy?
I mean, that's the easiest question ever.
Oh, really?
Yes. I answered this before.
She's a big Chris Piner.
Huge Chris Pine.
I think on paper, I think maybe you go with Pine, but once they're actually in the room, I think Tom Hardy charms the pants off.
I feel like we've
accent.
had this discussion, and you were very Tom Hardy, and I was very Chris Pine.
Yes. And again, I would like to kind of point out, can British people be members of the CIA? Alexis, she's got her hands up. She has no idea. Hands are tied.
I mean, look, we did have a discrepancy with them a couple hundred years ago. I think we've gotten over that.
I think we're over it.
Okay, so it doesn't matter your nationality.
Tom Hardy can charm his way into anything.
That's very true.
But he's not allowed to drink tea.
No. Listen, I am obviously everybody in Schmoville knows. I say it all the time. Scarlett Johansson. I would fight.
You love
I would
blondes.
fight my way into Scarlett Johansson's heart if that's what it took. But knowing me full on, like I'd lose the spy thing, and then to some dude. Wait. Oh hell yes, they can. Oh,
she's hot.
Scarlett Johansson. She's on the ScarJo train.
She's very hot.
I would be like the Tom Hardy in that situation where I was like, you know what, dude, if this is something that you're really into, just go for it. If I had already hooked up with Scarlett Johansson, I'd be like, all right, been there, done that. Let me see if I can find something else down the line. And then knowing full well that later on, Scarlett Johansson's probably going to get tired of that guy and then be like, I think I blew it with Macuga, and then come back.
That's what I'm saying.
Mental game.
That's what I'm saying, though, is that it's you and me. It's
me and you.
We're boys here. Okay?
Oh.
And so there's got to be that one girl. Like if it was us going against Scarlett Johansson, I'd make an effort.
Yes.
Mark Ellis would just show up. He'd play his
He'd
ass
show
off.
up with a cookie butter
3
candy
points.
bar.
But I think at the end, if like I really saw how much this meant to you, I would let you have ScarJo and I'd stop fighting you for it. The one girl that I would literally murder you would be Emma Watson. And not even because I want Emma Watson so much, I just don't want anybody else.
No one else can have her.
Like this bullshit Prince or whatever. This guy. That's
10 points for Gryffindor.
Yeah,
Give me a break.
Yeah, I'm bring it on. I'll train in polo to take that guy down if that wins the heart of Hermione.
I think sometimes it's like best friends. Girls can never come between best friends.
Yeah,
but
I've come between some best friends.
when your tie is as tight as Mark and I's, and we're as good as friends as we
When
are.
you wear each other's tuxes.
No girl can come between us. AK, more than likely, a girl could come between us.
It's totally going to happen. I can't wait.
I thought you would have said Jennifer Lawrence. You were really on the
I was on the J-Law train for a little bit there. Yeah, I don't know. ScarJo
she's a classic.
Man, every time. Just no brainer with the ScarJo.
Oh, man. She looks so hot. And what was that rom-com? The one she did,
She was in a rom-com.
He's just not that into you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she was Bradley
Banging in
Cooper.
that. Yeah. Well, she was having an affair with Bradley.
Right.
She hasn't been in a rom-com in a while. She's been doing all these action movies.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. With if you date Jennifer Lawrence, the best perk you get is you get to go to a Hunger Games premiere.
Right.
Which is cool. But ScarJo, you get to go to the Avengers premiere.
Yes.
That's a much hotter ticket.
Right. And I would hold her purse on any red carpet if that's what it took.
Yeah.
I would not care at all.
I might cut my losses, take the purse, and just cash it for the $50,000 and just get the hell out of Dodge. Like, this is as good as it's ever going to get.
So, do you guys watch the show Rectify? It's the girl that plays Tom Hardy's wife in this movie. In This Means
she's
War,
good.
Abigail Spencer. Oh my God, that's another one.
Really?
She's real hot. Yeah.
Super hot.
That's what I love about this movie. Everyone is so good looking.
Really good looking.
Really hot. It's just like, oh, it's Hotland.
Yeah. Well,
Even the bad guys have a certain dark, gritty charm, handsomeness to them.
yeah. Dietrich, you're like, I mean, pretty good looking.
You're a murderer,
Maybe.
but
He looks
toss
like the
you a hand.
Kingslayer.
Be on that. Turn on some Nickelback.
Would you consider, like, you know how we always talk about that we couldn't be spies because we go in there and the girl's like, I mean, I guess I'll cover them.
You remember my spy line?
Yeah.
At the end, I get, instead of ordering a martini and saying shaken not stirred, I get a Coors Light and I'm like, bingo. Yeah, I'm not getting employed by the same good-looking super spy agency.
The bingo callback. There you
Really
go.
good.
The bingo callback is just incredible. What would you, if you were gonna give? We give this movie on a scale of 1 to 5, I guess, on a schmo scale. If we're gonna do it, since we've got one of the king of Schmoville in here.
I mean, yeah.
Somebody's gonna dig this up, and I can't remember what I actually schmoed the movie. I think I might have gotten it because on Rotten Tomatoes it's like a 3 out of 5 schmoes is fresh, 2.9 out of 5 schmoes is rotten. So
Right.
I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I think I gave it like a 2.9 or a 2.8.
Ooh.
I wish I could have gotten it to 3, but I think the movie just got so ridiculous at the end I couldn't do it. But everybody's so good.
I mean, they
looking in it.
really did up the stakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like they're clipping
yeah.
people.
It- It was like Groundlings level, raise the stakes.
Yeah, it really was.
They yes-anded their way through
Yeah,
the entire
they-
movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the point where she's driving a Jeep at the end like she's a professional stunt driver. They're firing guns out, and then she pulls the parking brake and stops right at the edge of the end of the freeway.
Oh, and then she tells them she knows that the secret to blow the lights out.
Oh, yeah, because she's
of the front air.
That
she's
actually was a
product
pretty
tester.
smart callback. I'll give you that
Yeah,
one.
it was.
She was a product tester. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. A product
A
tester.
really
who
hot one.
Just
Yeah.
whiled away the lonely days at a Blockbuster video.
Yeah, and we're supposed to believe that she is like struggling in the single scene when you look like that, but yet as soon as you get her into a video store, she can make any
She
dude's
is on
pants.
fire.
I mean,
When she gets around that Hitchcock.
But you know, Reese and Sandra Bullock are both able to pull off that. I believe they're so hot, but I also believe they're so obsessed with their jobs that they're so focused on what they do. Like Sandra Bullock in The Proposal.
Oh, yeah,
Reese
yeah,
in
yeah,
this,
yeah.
and
Another
probably
another great one. That's next time we get together, we'll do The Proposal.
We'll do The Proposal, or we can do that new Reese Witherspoon movie with Sofia Vergara that's coming out. The one called, I can't remember what it's called.
You gave it 3 out of 5 schmoes.
I gave it 3 out of 5 schmoes.
I feel like
Thank
he
you,
probably
Alexis.
gave it fresh just because I would have murdered him.
Probably exactly why. But I'm happy about that.
I give it a 3-1.
It's a fun movie, yeah.
It's fresh.
I gave it 5.
Justine.
I give it 15 out of 5. Mark knows that I often go off the schmoes.
If you also look up Justine's previous scores, I believe New Year's Eve received a 4.8 out of 5 schmoes. I think there's just too much.
Is there a Valentine's Day in there?
Wait, what was the one we saw where we...
Endless Love.
Endless Love.
Oh, that's the one with.
I feel like I scored that because I was so shit on by Schmoville
Yeah.
after Valentine's Day.
I think Justine was just so in shock by the fact that we had to open that review with her in bed with me. Yeah. And then by the end of the review, I think that we both gave it 2 point something out of 5.
I didn't give it fresh.
Yeah.
Endless Love?
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a brutal one.
It gets brutal, yeah. This other one that she's excited to see with the Nicholas Sparks one that just came out.
Age of Adeline?
Age of Adeline has a chance to be good because it's got Blake Lively and Harrison Ford in it. This one that came out last week.
Longest Ride. I saw it yesterday. I enjoyed it. I have no regrets.
Is it like...
Justine's passion. No regrets.
I like #, no regrets.
Is there an unnecessary death in it?
Not unnecessary.
Is there a disease in it?
No disease.
Nicholas Sparks.
Christian gave 2.5 out of 5 for This Means War.
This means...
So
he didn't have a Marino breathing down his neck.
So wait,
yeah.
The threat of Marino coming at you.
You could see me sweating at the end of the review.
And what's his name? Scott Eastwood is the star of The Longest Ride, right?
I liked it a lot.
It's a movie about bull riding.
Yeah, I did not like the last one.
The last bull riding movie with Luke Perry, 8 seconds.
It's classic.
Thank you.
Great one.
No,
great. I was thinking of Dallas Buyers Club. That was the last rodeo movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit lighter than that.
What, Dallas Buyers Club? Oh, it's genius. It's so lighthearted. It's a rom-com of epic proportions.
The Nicholas Sparks one I really hated was the one before this one.
Me too. Yeah.
I hated that one.
The Best of Me.
Best of Me.
That one through everything.
The worst of Nicholas Sparks.
It might have been the best of me, but the worst of Nicholas Sparks. Well said, Justine. Well said.
P.S. He's getting divorced, so it's all a lie.
Oh, man.
Sparks?
Yes.
Wait till the divorce books start coming. They're just going to rain down.
Yeah. When he's throwing everything at it, it's like that's going to be his like dark side of the moon.
Notebook 2, it's just James Garner punching the old woman at the old folks' home.
Wake up and remember something, you
dumb idiot. I spent my life with you. You took half my shit. I followed you to this stupid nursing home. You whore. I think, I would give it like somewhere around a 3-1, 3-2. I think This Means War. I mean, again, it's one of those rom-coms that if it's on, I can like use it as background noise. It can just like stick around, and it's a great cast, and these people are all like mega movie stars that it gets you through.
Even their boss, who plays is it
Viola Davis?
Yeah. No, is it Viola Davis?
I think so. Hold on.
We'll look that up. But in the meantime, I will say this: the hallmark of a good romantic comedy is that it's watchable.
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, I thought it was
It's watchable. It's rewatchable, and I think I might even say this in the review. The chemistry between, particularly Tom Hardy and Chris Pine, I would love to see them in more movies.
Yeah.
Even I don't know that you could do a sequel because the first one got so ridiculous, but I'd like to see them even in another romantic comedy.
This means battle.
This still means war.
This means World War.
I wish I like them so much I could see them in like True Detective. I wish they were in True Detective.
Oh my god.
True Detective, the third season.
The third season.
Pine and Hardy revived their roles from This Means War into a darker, grittier kind of drama. Reese Witherspoon has been killed by neo-Nazis in middle America, and they have to find their killer.
So good.
Next year on
I
HBO.
would watch that.
I think they're going to be in the Cinemax show Honest Gumshoe. That's as close as they're getting.
Is that just a whole bunch of boobs mixed with a mystery?
It's written by Nicholas Sparks. That's all I know. It's the first newly divorced Nicholas Sparks written project.
Oh man! Now, Mark, did you develop a quiz that you wanted?
I did. One of the hallmarks of Three's Too Much was always that somebody would come in with some sort of quiz for the other two. It was always a lot of fun. So I figured that because you guys love this movie so much, and you guys love the stars Tom Hardy and Chris Pine, I'm going to give you guys some trivia.
Yes.
Now, the way to play is that your name is your buzzer. Okay. You have to. It's not like Justine gets a question then Josh. You guys got it. It's competitive. It's a timed thing.
Got it.
Okay. So
but I say machine.
You can say machine.
And
you
I
can
say MacGruber.
Blair can chime in as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read you guys a fact. Okay. And you guys have to tell me whether that fact belongs to Chris Pine or Tom Hardy.
Don't look at the computer screen. But you have to hold your microphone so he's still speaking.
Yes. All right, here we go. So you guys buzz in with your name, and then you simply say whether it's Chris Pine or Tom Hardy.
Godly.
Okay. This actor is an only child.
Macuga.
Josh.
Hardy.
That is correct.
Yes.
You're up 1.
Knew that.
The game is to 4, by the way. We're going to play to 4.
Okay.
Damn. Macuga on fire.
Before turning to acting full time, this actor won a modeling competition.
Macuga. Chris Pine.
That is incorrect.
Machine! Tom Hardy.
Very good. We are tied at 1. This actor's first job was on ER.
Bob Macuga.
Josh.
Pine.
That is correct.
Yes.
Did you just call it Bob Macuga?
Bob Macuga.
One. He played a drunk patient named Levine, whose only lines were, "I got drunk at a Valentine's party. It was a blowout. It was icky." Wow.
That sounds about right.
All right. This actor co-starred in the 2006 rom-com flop Just My Luck with Lindsay Lohan.
Machine!
Yes.
Chris Pine.
Very good. We are tied at
Wait,
2.
was Just My Luck the one?
With Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
I
Yeah.
thought he was so cute back then. I didn't know who the fuck he was, but I was like, I need more of this dude.
All right. This actor has a degree in English from UC Berkeley and later studied
Macuga.
at Leeds. Yes.
Tom Hardy.
That is incorrect.
Machine. Chris Pine.
He studied at Leeds, though, after that. English thinking?
Yeah, that's right. That's
My
right.
bad.
I threw
All
it
right,
off.
3-2,
All right.
Marino.
Justine, game point.
Did you just look at it? Did you just
No,
look?
I didn't look. I feel anxiety, though. The pressure is on. I'm holding a dog.
This actor's mother, named Ann Barrett, is an artist and painter.
Macuga.
Josh.
Tom Hardy.
That is correct.
Yes,
You're tied
sir,
at
we're
3.
tied.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
I feel the comeback.
All
right.
Don't call the comeback.
To win it all, this actor was born on September 15th, 1977.
Macuga.
Josh.
Chris Pine.
Justine Marino has won!
I knew that.
This means
I know his age.
competition.
Great game. Great game.
Wow. That did mean war. That went right down to the
That went to the
wire.
war.
Felt that. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like intense competition.
I tried to
It was
read
really
just Phil
good
Bin
stuff.
Millionaire a little bit of there at the end, just giving
Yeah.
that unnecessary 10-second pause.
Justine has won.
Yeah.
Final answer.
You never knew if that was just Regis' like synapses not firing,
Yeah.
or if he was really trying to build up suspense. Like,
That is correct. I mean, I think it was really great having you guys back together on the show. I love having you guys.
I
and-
want to do this more often.
Okay.
I want to
Every
do it
3
3's too
months?
much. Yeah. Every 3's 2
months. Oh,
That's good.
and you know what we could also do is we could call a couple people, maybe Tom Hardy's nuts. Can you play some?
yeah.
Can you play some Lady Alexis? Can you play some Yankin? No, not that.
No.
Get that guy ready.
Actually, believe it or not, that was considered a really good D's Nuts joke.
It was a really good.
That was
we
one
go.
of the better ones. Yeah.
You guys follow us all on Twitter. Go across the board.
At Justine Machine.
That's right. At 5150 Ellis, you can catch our new review of Avengers: Age of Ultron on the Schmoes No YouTube channel. Ultron,
Yeah, Ultron.
coincidentally enough, is voiced by James Spade's.
Here comes Marino. What you got? I've given you 4 days to realize you were going to do
That's
D's
true.
Nuts jokes.
That's true, but you know how I roll.
I know.
It's like she has 20 in her head. She's just deciding which one of her babies.
You guys can follow
she
me
wants to
on
release
Twitter
into the
at Josh
wild.
Macuga, my show, youtube.com/BetweenTheSheetsTV. Every Monday, we release a new episode.
I love Reese Witherspoon D's Nuts.
If you would have sold it, we might have gone with it.
I love a dame though.
Yeah.
Who loves This Means War, because that proves that her movie pleasures are Gil D's.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Well done, Mark Ellis. Guys, next week we haven't picked a movie yet, but Ben Begley will be back. I will actually not be here. I'll be on Hawaiian vacation with the cast of Saved by the Bell at the Hawaiian Hideaway with Kelly Kapowski's grandfather. Again, follow us on Twitter. Give us suggestions. We loved hearing from you guys. Thank you, Mark and Justine, for being on the show. Your family. I love being with you guys, and
So fun.
I love hanging out, making jokes, and talking about crappy movies. It's fun.
Too.
Love you guys. See you all in
Love
6
it.
months.
Love
We'll see you
everyone.
next time. What's your
Bye.
guilty movie pleasure?
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only, not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.